You're faking it. Aden! Sweetheart, if you were actually good at judging when a woman is faking it, maybe you'd have a girlfriend instead of whining about strangers on the internet. I think I've got water off the world that just, you know, a boner. You know, maybe it's because I've been unintentionally inciting boners for a long ass time.
Stop the cap!
Wow, I'm a Sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm a racist.
Huh? Sweet Anita, the racist Tourette's girl, hiding her slur usage behind a fake disease that she doesn't even have. She somehow has 1.5 million lobotomy patients following her, and like her whole shtick is just being a whore with Tourette's.
I kind of love that streaming has become this platform where people can do anything. If you told me when I was 6 that someone could grow up and they could just sit in a hot tub on a floating banana with a sensor bar over their titties. They showed me a video and been like, this is Ralph, he's been doing this for 6 years, he makes 6 figures. I'd be like, good for Ralph, that's so obscure. What a creative way to make your bread. Not hurting anyone. You're killing it, Ralph.
Not hurting anyone, you're killing it, Ralph. That's not hurting anybody. Doing softcore porn on Twitch where kids are, that's harmless.
I don't know why people are being like, get a real job about random crazy jobs. Like, if somebody's not got a real job and they're still making more than you in a year than you will in your entire lifetime, that's impressive. That shouldn't be a f***ing complaint. Like, why are you angry?
If you think selling your soul for temporary monetary gain is impressive, you're doomed. You're beyond saving.
When I went to Amsterdam, there's a massive montage in that video where I'm just nomming. You can see the cakes in front of me just changing. I ate like 8 slices of cake or some shit. You can see my eyes start to look in different directions as like the edible kicked in, and I'm just like...
She's so consistently pushing these terrible behaviors, praising sex work, praising trans people, praising stuffing her fat fucking gullet with cake.
It took me like a little while to realize, I was like, oh, my hand is trailing. Where did all these extra hands come from? I can swallow food. Those of you who don't know, nerves broken in the bottom of my throat, right? It's a really niche condition, not fully understood. They're like, we don't know why your throat don't throat, but we can make it throat. And the way that they want to make it throat is they want to twist my stomach upside down, enter me from 8 different directions with knives on tentacles.
Enter me from 8 different directions.
What? When modern e-horror streamer retardation intersects with, you know, that millennial Tumblr cringe and just creates this
She's subhuman millennial pick-me garbage. She's a theater geek who not only didn't get bullied enough, but is getting renowned praise for being this hyper-exaggerated cringe loser.
And then they want to stitch my stomach upside down to the base of my esophagus, and then they want to snip up the little entrance to my esophagus into my boa so that, like, it all works-ish, kind of, but you can never puke again, so don't drink too much alcohol or you'll die! And I'm like, so why, when I had an edible, could I suddenly eat 8 cakes? No issue.
Because you're a fat it gives whole bread energy. It's giving
Everything they tell you is more important than gaming. You won't remember every last minute of it. A really good example of that is if you're with someone for years, you're not going to remember every single time you them. You're going to have a highlights reel, maybe. You won't remember every single day that you went to work, even though it's productive. You won't remember every conversation you had with your parents, even though they'll die one day and you'll wish you remembered more of these conversations. It doesn't matter what you do. You can go on 1,000 walks instead, but you won't remember everywhere you've been. Not even most of it's gonna be memorable. You think you're gonna remember every leaf that you saw on the floor? No, that just applies to anything that becomes a hobby. Its value is literally that you got to enjoy yourself. And if you can do that, then it's worth doing. Oh my god.
So much yap, 0 point. Where is this leading to? You're just saying stuff that you probably thought was inspirational, or no, not even inspirational, just like slightly profound to her degenerate brain. She's like, oh, I've never had this thought before, so I bet nobody else has either.
So this is her excuse for being a useless evil and a slave to her own mental illness. Either it's cope disguised as profound insight, or she's just mask off explaining why she doesn't have any values and just wants to sit on her ass and play video games all day.
I really don't understand how there are so many men obsessed with this woman. I really don't understand the appeal. She's ugly, annoying.
I noticed that you barely take on stream.
Oh, she's got her tits out. Wow. Trying not to be a challenge level, never gonna happen, really impossible.
I noticed that you barely take on stream. You take a lot on the YouTube videos you choose to upload. Do you feel this is kind of possible exposure therapy could be a benefit? I'm backed into a corner with a really weird issue.
Or maybe she's faking it. Maybe that's why. Maybe she's a fucking phony. That's my theory. She's lying. I mean, it makes sense too. I mean, she's you know, uber racist. She just wants an excuse to say the N-word and all these other slurs, but she's too afraid to stand by her views and opinions. So she makes up this fake, you know, tick that she's got, forces her to say these things and do these things, and it's a perfect cover because, I mean, there's so many reasons on TikTok faking ticks, faking having Tourette's. It's so obvious. I mean, it's blatantly obvious. It's as clear as day. It's plain to see, and I just don't understand how she's gotten away with this grift for as long as she has. This is despicable. We should be on her right now. She shouldn't have a platform. She is taking away from people who are saying the N-word when they don't want to.
I could take the stuff that I create and the content I make, edit out all of the ticks, and post it elsewhere. If I do that, however, people are monumentously thick, and I don't mean with 2 C's, and they'll think, oh, you're miraculously cured. What a coincidence! And it's like, no, editing just exists. Then go fine, people just want to see me tick. I'll just take the clips of my ticks and anyone who thinks that's funny, I'll just put it here because clearly there are people who are just here for the ticks and I'd rather they not bother me while I'm live. And in those situations, people turn around and go, you're just capitalizing on your condition and I hate it. So I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't. What do I do? Tourette's is like electrical signals misfiring in your brain and not communicating with your nervous system properly. There's nothing about being exposed to a bunch of gamers that's gonna change that reaction in my head.
I mean, I don't know if she's faking it, but I'd say about 80% sure that she is at least playing it up for the camera or playing it up for the videos. That's not really my issue with her either. I could care less if she's doing it.
You don't want woke too stuck in your private parts? What the f are you on about? I think you're being woke wrong. Or really right, depending on how much you're into it, but like, that's not how the rest of us woke, dude. I don't think the wokeness is meant to be all up in your private parts. I don't know if you're like going to a gay bar and just being like, could you woke me a little?
Could you woke me a little? She's so f***ing insufferable. This is wine mom humor.
She should be stoned in the streets. What the fuck? She's a modern day witch. She's casting evil spells of reprobation. You know, people like this shouldn't have simps, okay? This is just a whole other level of shouldn't exist.
It's just so insane to me that these are the majority, that the majority of people are like her, or find her funny and find her entertaining. This is stuff your aunties show you from Facebook. AI generated slop humor. You're not being woke correctly. You clearly aren't like us wokies.
I support sex work and trans people. Oh, okay. Here's your one-way ticket to hell. Goodbye.